back to the channel, everyone. We love talking about movies and more. I am your co-host, Mason Phillips, for the Assembly Cut, and this is my other co-host.
I'm Hayden Smalley from Paradise Video.
And this is I guess this would be the fourth episode of the Assembly Cut. Yeah, we broke up the last two. The last two episodes were actually one full recording that we had to split up into two parts. Yeah, it's been a bit. A lot's happened since I think either of us have had a chance to talk. So there's a lot going on in the movie world. Anything specific you want to talk about, Hayden? I got a few topics to bring up, but if there's anything on your mind right now, we can just get started there.
Of course, I got to see the Odyssey, and I got
Yeah,
to see Spider-Man Brand New Day, which I
yeah,
know we'll
same.
be talking about later.
Yeah,
Other than that, outside of seeing movies, I'm currently storyboarding for my first feature film and seeking funding for it. So we've talked about it in a previous episode, but
right.
very, very excited to be, you know,
Yeah.
pushing this further into development.
How far into pre-production would you say you are right now?
I mean, right now I'm doing all the director's prep. So, like, I just finished my mood boards, which I'm going to give a second pass to just kind of make them look a little nicer. And
Hmm.
right now I'm working on my storyboarding, which will help me finish my shot list as well.
Yeah,
So, the big thing with pre-production that's going to be kind of a big hill to get over is financing.
right.
Getting all of the money kind of pooled to make this film happen. So.
Yeah. What are the major avenues that an independent filmmaker can go down to get financing for one of their projects?
A really popular route is crowdfunding.
Hmm.
Um, but I don't know of any films that have crowdfunded over $100,000, and we're looking at
Right.
getting about 150,000.
Yeah.
So the approach we're shifting towards, because we were going to crowdfund this past June,
Mm.
and just some stuff fell out with the creature effects guy we had on the project previously.
Right.
And so now we're having to kind of readjust, and we decided that we're going to try and pursue investors instead. Yeah.
And do you think it's gonna be easy? Gonna be a challenge? Like,
Oh, it's going to be a challenge.
yeah. Okay.
It's definitely going to be a challenge, but
Yeah.
anything worth doing is always a challenge.
Yeah. It's always gonna be tough, but I'm excited to see the progress on this.
Yeah, I'm excited for you to finish reading the
Yeah.
script and get
Yeah.
your review on it.
Yeah. You sent me that like 2 months ago, so I still need to get it finished and get that back to you. But okay, so that's awesome. I was glad to hear an update on that. So yeah, we'll just jump into this. Yeah, we both saw the Odyssey. For me, that's my favorite film of the year so far. I think it's not the best Christopher Nolan film. I think Inception is my personal favorite of the movies he's done. I think Oppenheimer that he did before this was better than the Odyssey, but I think the Odyssey is definitely. I mean, it's what the title is. It's an Odyssey. It's a huge like epic adventure. And I think for the most part, I was engaged from pretty much from start to finish. I think it took maybe 10 or so minutes for me to really get into it. But once they really got going on the journey, I think it's a pretty stellar film. And I mean, it's doing amazing at the box office right now. It's on track to make $1 billion if it hasn't already. I mean, when Spider-Man Brand New Day opened, I believe that weekend it still brought in like $50 million. So
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think it also helps with like word of mouth. So people are hearing that this is such a great film. They haven't been to the movies in a while, so they're like, "Oh yeah, I'll go check out the Odyssey and see what this is all about." And I think it's just one of those films that's gained traction because of word of mouth, because of how great it is. Critics and fans both seem to love it. So, what are your thoughts on the movie?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. The craftsmanship is there. I definitely understand the kind of criticisms it gets for not being a totally authentic transcription of Homer's The Odyssey,
Sure. Yeah.
on top of some of its historical inaccuracies. But
Hmm.
at the end of the day, it's a fantasy flick.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
can get
this
past
doesn't even really happen. So,
historical.
yeah.
I can get past historical inaccuracies when it's fantasy.
Sure.
That being said, as much as I enjoyed the film
Hmm.
and all the craftsmanship that went into it, it's not my favorite version of the Odyssey. My favorite version of the Odyssey is getting an animated feature film. It's called
Okay.
Epic the Musical. If you
I don't think I've
haven't
seen
seen
that.
it,
No, I don't think I have.
look up Epic the Musical full movie on YouTube.
Okay. All right.
You'll find it animated as animatics. It's
Uh-huh.
about 2 hours long, and it's fantastic. It's such a authentic representation of the heart and soul of Homer's The Odyssey, about
Yeah.
a husband and father and king who is desperately fighting against the god Poseidon to get back home to his kingdom and his wife and his son. And
Yeah.
just, it's romantic, it's heartbreaking, it is epic in
Mhm.
all traditional sense. It's phenomenal, and it's getting an animated feature, so I'm
Okay.
excited for that.
Yeah.
Homer
When's
or Nolan's The Odyssey kind of scratches some of that itch, but it's
sure.
not as romantic. It's
Yeah.
it's not as, heroic. It's more of
Hmm.
a, he's, trying not to spoil the film for the audience, but
Right.
who hasn't seen it? Um,
Or who hasn't read this in high school? Like it's
yeah.
a story that we're all
Um,
pretty familiar with.
it's more about a soldier not wanting to go home because he feels like he should be stuck out there forever. But fantastic film. Spider-Man
Hmm.
Brand New Day barely put a dent in the Odyssey's, the audience that has trailed in to see the Odyssey. It's barely put a dent in those numbers.
Sure,
Um,
yeah. They kind of both films that there's a cross between the fandoms, but
yeah,
there's also definitely people who are more inclined to go see the Odyssey that won't go and see Spider-Man Brand New Day. But
yeah.
I don't think Sony or Marvel is weeping over those lost numbers for,
We're,
I mean, this being the biggest opening ever.
yeah.
So, yeah.
We're working part-time at the movie theater in the evenings. I ask every single guest that I interact with, what movie are you seeing tonight?
Hmm.
And over the past few weeks, it's either been The Odyssey
Yeah.
or Spider-Man,
Or Spider-Man. Yeah.
or their second time seeing The Odyssey, or their second time seeing Spider-Man.
Sure. Yeah.
And, The Odyssey gets a lot of hate from people on the right side of politics,
Yeah. And just to interject real quick.
which is where I lean towards.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
I don't understand the hate for the film
When
itself.
it,
The film is
yeah.
amazing.
Exactly. When it came to like the stuff they were saying about the movie, like, and this was a lot of it was coming from people who hadn't even seen the Odyssey and
Yeah,
probably weren't going to go see it anyway. But when you actually sit down and watch the movie and you just get past all that noise, you're like, so what was all this about? I mean, the
yeah,
biggest critique I can throw at the movie is what is it completely accurate to that historical period? But because it's like that you know, Greek
yeah.
mythology epic, I mean, I can kind of let stuff like that slide. I mean, I play games like Assassin's Creed Odyssey
Oh
that
yeah.
has actually gotten a big resurgence because of the Odyssey movie. But I mean, you have to throw stuff like that away. This is just supposed to be an epic fantastical adventure. So yeah, that kind of criticism that they were throwing at this movie, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. It's
The
not like this is a huge historical epic that they're
yeah.
retelling. So yeah.
The only time I was pulled out of the film itself, and it's like, okay, there's the woke agenda, was a speech Anne Hathaway gives to Telemachus.
Hmm.
Like Penelope gives to Tom Holland's character Telemachus. I'm like, okay, I
Yeah.
know that was not in Homer's original writing.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
There's a little bit of
that
flair that yeah he puts in there, but
there's a bit of modern flair there. But other than that moment,
hmm
nothing in the film pulled me out of the fantasy.
no, no, not at all. Yeah.
But Spider-Man, your thoughts?
Yeah, so Brand New Day, it's my favorite Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, and for the main reason is I do have a gripe with like the villain they chose in the movie being. I don't really want to spoil anything on this video. I mean, if we do, we'll put up a spoiler warning. But before I
Yeah.
get into stuff like that, this movie just feels the most like I've heard this talked about from other YouTubers, but it's comic book Marvel Spider-Man finally brought to life on the big
Yeah.
screen. It's like the closest I think we've gotten to this is probably the Tobey Maguire movies. I mean, I guess the closest would be the Into the Spider-Verse films being like
Yeah.
the true comic book interpretation. But yeah, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies definitely I think had that feel. But this is the first time like with that montage at the beginning, him just going up against villains like Tombstone, Scorpion, Tarantula, Boomerang, those guys.
Yeah.
I mean, and those are ripped straight, like those are pages from the Spider-Man comics brought to life and it felt like they were really utilizing this Marvel Cinematic Universe, not for like the hey fan service, like look at this shiny character over here, but like it actually makes sense. Like Peter goes to talk to a specific hero for help, and
Yeah.
it makes total sense why he would talk to this character in the trailer. Bruce Banner is already there. And I think before the movie came out, they were actually going to make that the Lizard, but I don't think they wanted to retread any water from previous Spider-Man movies. And I
Yeah.
kind of would have liked it if he sought out Dr. Connor's help, but that version of Dr. Connors wouldn't have been established, and the Hulk's already been established in the MCU. So maybe for time purposes, just trying to speed the story along, I could see why they did that.
Yeah. I
But
mean, you could argue that, because he knew a Dr. Kirk Connors from
sure, yeah, maybe he
film,
would
that
have
he would
sought
maybe
one
think
out in his universe.
to look for his universe's variant.
Yeah, sure. But then do we want to also just jump into that story of he's also becoming the lizard and all this stuff? And that's almost a whole other movie on its own, which is the Amazing Spider-Man anyway. So
Okay. Well, I mean,
yeah.
I think you could kind of do like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man movies do, where you have Kirk Connors and you just set him
They
up
were
as
they were
a
leading to that,
benign
yeah.
character.
Hmm.
I mean, same thing with what he was going to do with his version of Mysterio. I mean, he's in all
Yeah.
three movies.
Right. And it was gonna be revealed that Bruce Campbell was Mysterio in Spider-Man 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think it would have been cool. Sorry to cut you off there.
no, you're good. I think there was a little bit of delay in the video. I was just gonna say, like as speaking of Mysterio, I think Mysterio in the MCU is still alive. I don't think they're
Sure.
gonna throw away his character, especially his portrayal. I think was really good.
I thought was very good. I thought for the longest time Mysterio was going to show up in No Way Home at some point, and then that would finish out the original Sinister Six roster. Because the original Sinister Six roster was those five villains plus Mysterio. An argument could be made that Mysterio was that sixth member anyway, because Spider-Man's identity was outed, and that's why the movie happened the way it did. So
Yeah.
yeah, you could say it's like, well, I mean, the team is there anyway, but yeah.
You know what was a really, now that I'm thinking about it with No Way Home, what's a missed opportunity. And
Hmm.
I think it was better for the film that they didn't do this, but I kind of would have loved to have seen them bring in Toby's Harry Osborn,
Okay.
because
Yeah.
he kind of got redeemed as he died
Yeah.
in the third film. It would have been
Uh-huh.
interesting to see him revived.
It would have been interesting. I know why they didn't do that because James Franco has had some stuff going on with his personal life that I
Yeah.
think they're just trying to dodge and be like, well, the character died. We don't need to. Which I mean, the
Narratively, though,
villain
it could
died
have been
too, but
really interesting
yeah,
to
yeah,
see.
I totally agree. Had that stuff with his personal life not happened, I would have been all for it.
Yeah.
But I can totally see why they've kind of skirted away from that character. But yeah, I mean,
But
it would have made sense. Thematically, would have been kind of cool to see. I mean, it was nice at the end of Spider-Man 3 to see the two of them team up.
yeah.
Um, so I hope to see something like that, maybe with I don't know if Ned's going to end up turning to the Hobgoblin at some point if they're still setting stuff like that up. Because I kind of thought with Brand New Day, and I'll still try to avoid spoilers, but I thought it was going to be that Ned would later find out that Peter was Peter,
Hmm.
remember the history they had, but then be angry that he didn't tell him, and maybe that would kind of lead him down a villainous path. And
That
I'm
that
not
was
so
my
sure if,
prediction too.
yeah, I'm not so sure if that's actually what they're doing after having seen the film. If that's, I don't really think that's the path they're going down with that character. I mean, time will tell. Maybe Spider-Man 5 will go into that, but I think they've got other stories in the MCU with that Spider-Man that they want to tell.
Yeah.
I can easily see Miles Morales coming probably the next two films, possibly. I mean, Aaron Davis is already in the MCU, so the fact that the Prowler's already been semi-established in Spider-Man: Homecoming.
I
Um,
I think the fans would like to see Ned become the Hobgoblin at some
yeah,
point.
I think it'd be cool. There
And
would be that, like, there would be that relationship with Spider-Man too, so there would have that weight of that history between two of them. Yeah.
yeah. And then two, before we get Miles Morales, we have to see the Prowler suited up,
Oh, sure.
doing crimes, like that sort of a thing
Yeah,
first.
and it doesn't count the cameo that Donald
Yeah.
Glover had in Across the Spider-Verse. That doesn't count.
Yeah, no,
But
it doesn't
yeah,
count at all.
I mean, it's
Um,
cool. I'm glad they did that,
it's
but
yeah,
it
it's
doesn't count.
cool, but
Yeah.
um and then honestly, like I love the Miles Morales character. No hate
Mhm. I
towards
do too.
Miles Morales character
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
But I would rather us get Miles at a much later stage in Peter Parker's story,
Yeah. And I think it
where
does
he's
help
kind of
that.
coming to a point of retirement, because then we
Sure.
still have
Yeah.
all these Spider-Man stories to happen with a young Spider-Man And you can
Yeah.
still have Peter in the background as a mentor, but this
Hmm.
is like after he's hung up the mask, so to speak. Something I was going to say about why I think some fans are really excited and kind of in a rush for Miles Morales to arrive
Hmm.
is dopamine.
Sure. Yeah.
It excites them to see a new character introduced and a character they love and all that stuff. Audiences
Right.
have lost patience for things to take their time and have their own arcs and develop.
Yeah.
Everybody just wants everything immediately. I mean, it's a TikTok culture.
Hmm.
And that's one of the reasons that honestly, that's the main reason I want Peter Parker to have his own full run before
Right.
we
Yeah.
ever even get Miles. And then for
Well,
Miles to have his own full run.
sure. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and this is really, in my opinion, is like Brand New Day is the first time we've gotten like the true
Yeah.
comic book Spider-Man. Like the Home trilogy was the origin story. That wasn't even like he didn't really become like the real Spider-Man, in my opinion, until the end of No Way Home.
Yeah.
It's the first movie where he actually gets to be Spider-Man. So yeah, I hope that I want at least three more movies with him like this before
Yeah.
we jump to that next phase. I mean, I want to see him finally meet the Kingpin from
Oh yeah.
the Daredevil series. And I mean, for a while they were having conversations about whether or not Kingpin could be used in the films. Like he could be on the TV
Mm-hmm.
side, but live action Kingpin can be used in the films. And Kevin Feige recently said that those contract issues actually aren't as complicated as most of us think they are. So hopefully that means there's a sign of maybe the next Spider-Man movie you could set something up with
Yeah.
him in the movie, and then have like it's pretty clear to me they're going to have this continued thing with the MCU Spider-Man that he's always going to team up with some other hero from the MCU. But they were willing to do it with the Punisher, so now here's a chance to bring Daredevil actually back into it because he actually had a cameo in No Way Home. So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
make a team up, and I would love the Punisher to actually be a continued primary supporting character. I think through the Spider-Man movies because I loved their relationship in
Yeah.
Brand
No,
New Day.
I thought that was great.
Yeah,
And like honestly, like a part of me is kind of tired of seeing all these other Marvel characters in these Spider-Man movies. Like we barely got the Scorpion in Brand New Day, and I was
yeah,
excited for
I dig.
Scorpion.
I was too, and yeah, that's kind of one of my complaints too. Is I would have loved to him, and this is kind of a spoiler, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I mean, he was brainwashed for half of his appearance in this
Yeah.
movie, so he wasn't even. It's like Hawkeye in the Avengers, so we didn't get the true like Scorpion in this for like maybe 3 minutes. We got the real Scorpion.
Yeah,
I mean,
I would like to see
all the
more
way back
of
at Homecoming. Yeah,
yeah, I'd like to see more of him.
and I think we
Like,
will. I mean, he's still alive, so
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean
yeah,
they're saving him for stuff later. The actor even confirmed that, they've got more
yeah,
cooking for his character.
yeah.
But
I
like
hope they're
I
leading
kind of
towards
want
like the Venom.
An MCU set Spider-Man film
Mhm.
that other than like stuff in the background, TV clips, newspapers, whatever, the Avengers Tower in the background, sure.
Sure.
You get just Peter Parker and
Hmm.
the Spider-Man characters just set
Sure.
in that universe.
Yeah.
Because you don't have, because right now, every Spider-Man movie is a crossover movie.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And, and maybe that's why they do as well as the Avengers films did. But
Maybe.
I think
Um,
Peter is the real draw. And I think if you just
oh
focus
yeah.
on fleshing out Peter's lore,
Hmm.
you establish a new Oscorp. And then, because
Sure. Yeah.
Oscorp didn't exist before, when he hears it pop up, he
Hmm.
maybe could go and investigate it, and that could
Right.
lead into the whole arc, really.
Yeah. 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 And there's a theory that MJ is actually going to be maybe working for
Yeah.
this like Oscorp startup company in the next movie. So I would definitely like to see that. Yeah, I definitely agree that Spider-Man can definitely stand on his own. I mean, that's why I was going to see the movie in the first place. It wasn't because it was a Punisher movie or a Hulk movie.
Yeah.
So it's because it was a Spider-Man movie. But I think this is the best use of those supporting MCU characters in a Spider-Man movie with
Yeah,
Tom
so
Holland's
far.
character because it does feel like that New York Marvel Comics Spider-Man because he's going to run into people like the Punisher, the
Yeah.
Hulk teaching at Empire State University where he went to school. I mean, that makes complete sense. I mean, I said no spoilers. I'll just go ahead and jump to this because I think the whole internet knows already. Yelena's in this movie for a little bit.
Yeah.
And I mean, the new Avengers are headquartered in New York, so it makes total sense why he would go to her for information.
Speaking of spoilers, I
Hmm.
think we've, spoiler alert
Yeah, we'll just
for
get into that because it's hard to keep jumping around that and
yeah.
tiptoeing stuff.
You knew my thoughts on them introducing Jean Grey and the X-Men
Yeah, yeah.
into the MCU. I was really hoping they would wait until after Secret Wars to do that.
They're trying to have a
What's your
continuity
take on like
with it.
what do you think their plan is?
Yeah, so I mean, we already know there's an X-Men movie on the horizon. It's coming out in 2028. I'm certain that that's the first MCU movie we're getting post Secret Wars. And then the other two, of course, I do want to talk about this because it was Comic-Con happened since we last talked. So there's been some
Yeah.
other big Marvel announcements. But then yeah, we're getting a Ghost Rider movie and then a Black Panther 3 in that year too. With the X-Men, it is kind of interesting the direction they've decided to go with the 616, or I still call it Earth 19999 because
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I prefer. 616 is the comics, not the MCU.
Yep.
But anyway, yeah, it's like Miss Marvel being established as a mutant, like doing little teases like that. I've been okay with because it hasn't been like the full blown X-Men yet, and we
Yeah.
still don't have the full blown X-Men yet. I can definitely see at the end of Brand New Day, as Jean's in the bus, she's kind of heading towards upstate New York. You can kind of see what looks like a mansion, I think. So I think she's being called to, or at least is heading towards Xavier's school. But I don't. Obviously they're not really establishing Xavier's school. They don't even have time to do that now in the MCU
Yeah.
until after Secret Wars because the next movie is Avengers Doomsday. So it's a strange route, and I wouldn't have. It's not what I would have done for a Spider-Man movie to have
Yeah.
Jean Grey be the villain because she's the villain of the movie. It's like there's going to be a redemption arc for her. There kind of was teased at the end of the movie, but it's been pointed out by other YouTubers like she's a terrorist in this movie. She does like I'm sorry your sister was taken by damage control and horrible things were done to her. I mean, they killed her.
But you
But
cannot drive a tank down New
like
York
how
City.
does that justify like bullets spraying off, innocents being attacked, she's manipulating and using innocent people? Like
Oh, yeah,
how
she
is
made a
this
guy get ran over. Innocent
exactly
guy ran
it's
over.
just to prove a point to Spider-Man for no other thing. And then yeah, manipulating Peter's emotions by using MJ, like she specifically uses her against her will to do this kind of stuff. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So I'm on board with Sadie Sink being cast as Jean Grey. She's definitely like I think she's going to do a great job in the role.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see her future in the MCU, but I think there were some logic issues with her use as the villain in this movie. Yeah,
What do you think of Dustin Daniel Craig's Wonder Man getting canceled?
that's so it surprised me, and apparently it surprised him too, because he was like, "Yeah, we're on board to do the second season." It surprised the whole cast, and he even went out of his way to say that this wasn't even Kevin Feige's decision. So Marvel Studios was going to go full speed ahead with this show. So it sounds like it was the higher ups at Disney that canceled this thing, and I think it's just they've had a change in leadership. They have a new CEO now, and I think they're just probably going in a different direction with how they want to utilize these characters.
Yeah.
I would have definitely been on board with the second season because I loved Wonder Man season one.
Oh yeah.
But maybe I can see why they would make what my hope in a decision like that would be. We want to push these characters to the big screen.
Yeah.
Like Marvel does better when it's on in the theaters. People actually care more and pay attention more when it doesn't feel like there's homework they have to do at home on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that strategy really it hasn't worked because they didn't plan it out very well to connect the Disney Plus series to the movies because there's a lot of weird gaps, especially when you watch something like WandaVision and then you go watch Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. There's some weird gaps there in
Yeah.
how those two projects connect to each other. So, and then you get people who may have not watched WandaVision that then went to see Doctor Strange and they're so confused when they watch the movie. So, like that strategy really hasn't worked out too well. And I think it worked out better in the Infinity Saga days when it was like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is over here and I'm a defender of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.,
Oh,
but
I
it
loved
didn't.
Agents of Shield.
Yeah, it's great. But the fact that it didn't heavily connect to the MCU is probably it was definitely a benefit when they moved into like season 4 with the Ghost Rider arc and
Yeah.
then on from there, it kind of just got to be its own show. I like the early stuff, especially when like the Hydra twist is there with season 1. I mean, there's some cool
Oh
stuff
yeah.
they got to do there, but those shows definitely work out better when you can watch this if you want, but you don't have to, and you can be
Yeah.
engaged with the movies. And like I like seeing these things connect. I mean, I love seeing Punisher in a movie finally, so that's cool. But that like, and I want them to keep doing stuff like that, but not make the audience feel like they have to watch those shows.
Yeah.
Like they can if they want. It's great if you do. It's added excitement for you, but for people that haven't seen them, it's not a detractor for them going to see movies like this. So
Yeah.
yeah, going forward, I think that's probably their plan. That's what my hope is that that's why they're canceling a show like Wonder Man because they want to push him to the big screen, and probably to free up Destin Daniel Cretton's schedule because I mean
Yeah.
he's trying to get Shang-Chi 2 off the ground still after 2021. I'm sure they want him back for Spider-Man 5. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
and I want him back for Spider-Man 5. I think he did a overall. I mean, my complaints aside, I think he did a good job with Brand New Day.
yeah. No, I thought he did a great job. It's not my favorite Tom Holland Spider-Man movie. I'm biased towards No Way Home.
Sure, and I
Um,
get that. Yeah.
you know, but it is my favorite characterization of Peter Parker,
Mhm.
I think.
Yeah.
As far as Tom Holland goes, like we're finally getting a Tom Holland who's had the trauma, who's had the tragedy, and feels the weight of the responsibility he has. And I
Yeah, for
think that that
sure.
was the best thing that the film did. But
Mhm.
speaking about like Marvel making the mistake with their shows and being so heavily connected and stuff, and we should probably wrap up on
Yeah,
this
that's fine. Yeah, we can make this a
discussion
quick
here.
episode and then yeah.
But like new trailer for the Lanterns show just came
Oh
out.
yeah.
And what are your quick thoughts on James Gunn deciding to make all of the mistakes Marvel has made and just
Well,
do it all at once?
so okay, I can applaud the intent of what he wanted to do. See, the thing with like a show like Lanterns, like it's cool, like the avenue he's wanting to go, like the True Detective style show with these guys. But Lanterns, and again, we talked about this before. Why is Supergirl? I mean, well, Supergirl being a movie, actually, I kind of get, but why is Clayface a movie and not a TV show? And why is Lanterns a TV show and not a movie? Those are the two where I'm like, and I think both are actually going to be. I think they're going to be pretty good. I actually have more confidence in Clayface than I do Lanterns because Lanterns I've heard some iffy things about behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that that is all fixed in the editing room. Because the last trailer for Lanterns actually is the first time I've gotten pretty excited for the show. Before I was just kind of like, well, this looks cool, but I'm one of those fans who's asking like, where's the green and Green Lantern? So it's
Yeah.
so I'm hoping that the show does turn out to be pretty good and actually is the first thing in the DCU because I like Superman, but I don't love it. So like DCU hasn't done anything that I love yet. It's just got some stuff that I'm like, you got some cool elements, you got some cool stuff you could build upon if you actually work towards creating some kind of momentum here.
Yeah.
Um, with Lanterns, it's the first time where I'm like, there's potential for this to go really great or really at least mediocre at best, or
And
it
then
could
you
go
have
really
the
bad.
Jimmy Olsen and Gorilla Grodd show.
And that one, I'm like, that
It
one, I'm
sounds like a
scratching.
Hanna-Barbera cartoon,
I'm
and
scratching
not
my
in a
head. I'm
good
like,
way.
exactly. I'm like, so what? And why is this a live action show and not like an animated thing like Creature Commandos?
Yeah.
Like, I would flip that. I'm like, a Creature Commandos being a cartoon, I kind of get, but I'm like, why was that not a live action show? And there's so many decisions they've made. And they're canceling most of the projects they announced in James Gunn's DCU announcement video, like Booster Gold's
Mhm.
probably not happening anymore. That Waller show's probably not happening anymore. I have serious doubts about this Paradise Lost Themyscira show they started talking about. Who knows when Brave and the Bold is happening because it's taken 85 years to get the Batman Part 2 out.
Right.
So DC, it, at least looking at it right now, and I had very different opinions about the DCU early this year. Before Supergirl came out, I was like, I am on board 100%. I'm like the people who were detracting against the DCU was like, you guys got to give this a chance. And I'm still on that. Like, we can't say it's all failed yet because we are only in like year two.
Yeah.
But I definitely think the DCEU was at a better point towards its end of life than the DCU is
Yeah.
at the start of its life. So,
My kind of hot
yeah.
take was I actually enjoyed Supergirl more than I did Superman.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, I'm not in that
But
camp at all.
it was because it made a little more sense why things were so chaotic because it's out in space. It's a
Sure.
space
Yeah.
adventure
Uh-huh.
versus like I can suspend my disbelief that far. But then when you're
Yeah.
on Earth, introducing me to a new version of Earth with superheroes,
Yeah,
there
yeah.
was no easing you into it. And,
No, and it's just
you
some
know,
text that plays at the beginning.
yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't have any buy-in for it. And
Yeah.
James Gunn had mentioned before Superman ever came out that they were just going to do really good movies when they got really good scripts and go from
Exactly.
there.
Yeah.
And
Where's the proof of that? Yeah.
yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
if they end up connecting, they end up connecting. And I'm like,
And that's not a good
nothing
plan
you
either,
have
because like,
said has
yeah,
come out to be true.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
It's frustrating. I am in the camp that I don't think James Gunn needs to continue being the head of DC. I like him as a director. I like him as a writer. So I think I would love to keep him in like a kind of like a Russo brothers capacity for the
Yeah.
MCU. Just head over the creative stuff, direct when you can. But as far as heading up the DCU, I don't think that's his job.
Yeah. Well, my
Yeah.
little girl's up from nap, and you can't see
All
her, but
right.
she is pointing at the screen going, Dada, Dada. So I'm going to get off of
Yeah.
here, but man, this has been a great discussion.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll do a little tag out so I don't have to do my closing stuff here, but we can end here. It's been a great conversation. I'd love to get to talk to you about this stuff.
Absolutely. And
Hopefully
hopefully
next
we
time
can
we'll have a,
discuss the end of Oak Street when it comes out.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, hopefully next time we get to talk, we'll have a little bit more time to do so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. You have a blessed Sunday, man.
you too. See you later.
See you later. Bye.
Thanks so much for checking out that episode of The Assembly Cut with myself and Hayden Smalley. We didn't have a lot of time to talk today, so this is definitely a short episode of The Assembly Cut, but we hope you enjoyed the stuff that we got to talk about today, talking the Odyssey, Spider-Man Brand New Day, a little bit of the DCU, and we hope you enjoyed the conversation. Go down in the comment section and let us know what you thought about the topics we discussed here today. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to have that audience engagement. Remember, you could follow me here on MP Movies and More. You could follow Hayden at Paradise Video, and when I'm not doing this podcast, I usually do Talking Movies and More with myself. Didn't get a chance to do that last week, but you could expect to see Talking Movies and More show up again next week on this channel. And thank you so much for joining us here for this conversation. Before we go, remember to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get notified when new videos go live to this channel. When you guys do that, it always helps me out, always helps Hayden out, and we greatly appreciate your support. Hope you all have an awesome and a fantastic day, and we'll see you in the next video.